touch that dial. Listen to Blondie, presented by Camels. Get a fresh cigarette. Go get a Camel. Sure, fresh camels on the Persian Gulf mean fresh camels for you too, because all camels are packed to go around the world, packed to stay fresh. Cool smoking, slow burning. Of course, you know the Camel cigarettes are first with men in all of the services, according to actual sales records. Yes, more people want Camels now, both at home and overseas. More people want the fresh cigarette, the cigarette with more flavor. So remember, if your store is sold out, Camel cigarettes are worth asking for again and again. C-A-M-E-L-S Camels, Camels cigarettes. Standard of costlier tobaccos, the same for soldiers, civilians, and anyone anywhere in the known world.
And now for our weekly visit with our neighbors, the Bumsteads of Shady Lane Avenue.
Well, Dagwood has been doing very nicely as vice president and temporary head of the J.C. Dithers Construction Company ever since Mr. Dithers kicked Dagwood out of the office and broke his own leg doing it. Mr. Dithers is still in the hospital, and this morning, Blondie and Dagwood are at the Dithers Company waiting for something to happen.
Dagwood, what do you do when nothing's happening?
Well, I design homes of the future, and I check all of the jobs that we're working on now, and I go over my correspondence, and I call a meeting of the staff, and,
Now, Dagwood, I know you well enough to know that you do nothing of the kind. What do you do when nothing's happening?
Well, I take naps.
I just wondered.
Of course. I couldn't do naps when Mr. Dithers was around, of course. He has an uncanny way of knowing when I have my feet up on the desk. It just never fails.
Well, it's failing now. You got your feet up on his desk.
There he is, calling from the hospital, no doubt.
Well, I'll get it, Dagwood. J.C. Dithers Construction Company.
Oh, hello, Dimples. You gorgeous thing, you.
He thinks I'm his secretary. I'll fix him. Hello, Tarzan of the water cooler.
Good grief, Dimples. What have you been doing? Taking vitamin pills? You don't sound at all like my fuzzy-wuzzy little secretary.
I don't. That's because I isn't your fuzzy-wuzzy little secretary.
What? Then who's on the phone?
It is Dagwood's...
Dagwood's? So, that traitor, that Judas. So he stole you away from me, did he?
Oh no, I married him.
What? He's a bigamist? I better tell Blondie.
This is Blondie.
Well, I don't care. Oh, Blondie. Oh, hi, Blondie. Let me talk to Dagwood.
All right, Mr. Dithers. Well, Dagwood, I sort of warmed him up for you.
Thank you. JC, hello?
Bumstead, get your feet off my desk.
What? Excuse me, Mr. Dithers, how did you...
And don't let me find out that you've been dipping into my supply of pre-war chewing gum either.
Oh, no, of course not, Mr. Dithers. Nice day today, though, isn't it?
Yes, and I'm just one day closer to getting out of this hospital, at which time I am going to have my revenge.
Oh, JC, I haven't done anything to provoke you.
I'll pin your ears together with the stapling machine.
Mr. Dithers, please relax. Look, I'll run the J.C. Dithers Company just fine.
Oh, I know you will, right into the ground. Oh, here comes the little head nurse again. She catches me every time I paddle my bed down the hall to the phone with a map.
All right. Goodbye, Mr. Dithers.
Hold on, Bumstead. I'm going to demand my rights.
Ah.
Now, see here. I'm going to do all the phoning I want to. No, I won't hang up. No, get away from me, you female wrestler.
Oh, well. It seems that the head nurse got his number, Blondie.
Dagwood, I've just been looking around, and you know what I think we ought to do?
No, what do we ought to do?
I think we ought to clean out everything around here. Look at the mess on Mr. Dithers' desk, and that's pile of letters and papers in his wire basket.
Well, yes, don't touch that, though, because that is Mr. Dithers' urgent file.
Urgent? Let's see what's in it. That's so urgent. Well, here's a letter asking Mr. Dithers to vote for Roosevelt. Teddy Roosevelt.
Oh, no, that's probably just in there for a gag, Blondie.
Well, here's a letter inviting him to take a demonstration ride in the horseless carriage.
Wow, this urgent file hasn't been urgent for a good many years, it seems.
We ought to clean the whole place out and put in a good shape. Why, it's a disgrace to even sit in an office. That's such an awful mess. I'm going to clean up and call Cora Dithers, and the two of us are going to just clean this whole office. It's absolutely frightful. Looks like the puppies have been in here.
Oh, well, maybe, Blondie, but I'd really rather you didn't call Mrs. Dithers.
I'm only going to help you.
But you'll only get everything all mixed up round here. We won't be able to find anything. We won't be able to do business, Blondie. The Dithers Company cannot afford to have you help us.
We're going to do it just the same.
The company could go bankrupt, Blondie.
Well, Dagwood, at least you'll go bankrupt in nice, orderly surroundings. Now, let's not talk about it anymore. I'm determined about this, and when I tell Cora Dithers about it, I know she'll be even more determined.
But you've got to ask Mr. Dithers if it's all right first.
We'll tell him this afternoon when we drop in to see him. Alex wants to say hello to Mr. Dithers.
Fine. And you won't bother us if Mr. Dithers says no, will you?
If he says no, I think Cora will persuade him to change his mind.
Oh.
What? Clean out my office? My answer is no. Definitely no.
See, Blondie, what did I tell you?
What do you think, Cora?
My answer is yes. Yes, definitely yes, and furthermore, yes.
Well, then it's all settled.
Just one moment, please. I said that the office is not to be disturbed.
Well, we're ignoring you, Poochie.
Don't call me Poochie, you camel.
What?
Julius, aren't you satisfied with just one broken leg?
Here. All right. Hold on a minute, everyone. There's no need to fight about this. It can be settled so simply. You don't mess around at the office.
What's everybody yelling about, Daddy?
Baby Alex. It's just a friendly little squabble.
It's just a question of whether or not your father and Mr. Dithers can work in a clean office or a messy office, Alex. Which would you prefer, dear? The messy office?
Smart kid I've got there.
Alex Bumstead, you stand right where you are and keep quiet until we're through talking.
I guess I'm in the doghouse.
Well, Cora, shall we go over to the office and start digging into all those dusty old drawers and filing cabinets?
Yes, Blondie, let's go.
Now, wait a minute, Cora. Who started the J.C. Dithers Construction Company?
You did, dear.
And who's president of the J.C. Dithers Construction Company?
You are, Julius.
And who knows what's best for the J.C. Dithers Construction Company?
Only you, Julius. And who knows what's best for J.C. Dithers himself?
You do, Cora.
Well, that's that then.
See, Dagwood? I told you so. Come on, Cora. We'll go right and straighten up that office. And when you get out of the hospital, Mr. Dithers, you won't even recognize the Dithers Company.
It'll probably be owned by someone else by then.
Dagwood, you stay here and keep Mr. Dithers occupied.
Oh, but Blondie,
And Alex.
Yes, Mommy?
Take good care of your father. Goodbye.
Well, Bumstead, you really fixed things up this time.
I had nothing to do with any of this at all, sir.
I don't care. I'm giving you all the blame. Oh, it'll be terrible if they get into my desk.
What? Why, what's in your desk, sir?
Well, there's my little black book with all the telephone numbers, and there's the girl pictures, and the Varga girl calendar with the footnotes, and besides that, my collection of pinup girls, and in my lower right-hand drawer, there's that... Oh, no. They mustn't find that.
What is it, sir?
It's no, I can't tell you, Dagwood. No one must know. I can't stand to share that secret. I'd go mad. I tell you, I'd go mad.
All right, stop talking like Vitamin Flintheart.
Dagwood, you've got to go over there and make sure that they don't get into my lower right-hand drawer.
All right, I'll try, sir.
Oh, boy.
What do you mean, oh boy?
I know plenty.
What are you talking about?
Little black book. Shame on Mr. Dithers. Shame on Mr. Dithers.
Oh, stop that. What's he up to, Dagwood?
I think Alex is going to be putting the bite on you. You know, trying to blackmail you. Ha 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 ha.
Can I get a quarter, Mr. Dithers?
Corner? Alex, you surprise me.
Well, they surprised me too. It's worth at least 50 cents, Alex.
Bumstead, here's a quarter for you, Alex.
There we go.
Where's the other quarter?
You know, excellent business acumen. You better cough it up, JC.
All right, here you are, you little rat.
Thank you, Mr. Dithers.
Thank you, Mr. Disgusting.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Police.
Police. Police, try Camel cigarettes.
Police, try Camel cigarettes and you go back. Knock, knock, who's there? Police, who? It's a knock, knock joke. We talked about this in the notes.
Sorry.
Here we go.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Dithers. Disgusting.
Thank you, Mr. Dithers. Disgusting.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Police.
Police who?
Police, try Camel cigarettes in your T-zone. Hello. That's T for taste and throat. You see, your taste tells you that camels do have more flavor, and your throat gives you the last word on Camel's smooth, extra mildness.
What are you doing here, King?
I just dropped in to say hello. I've been down in the maternity ward, Mr. Dithers.
Congratulations, old man. What is it, a girl or a boy or a nurse?
No, I just felt sorry for the prospective fathers who were pacing up and down in the waiting room. So I reminded them that if they wanted a cigarette that wouldn't go flat no matter how many they smoked, they should get Camels for more flavor. Why, I said it's expert blending of costlier tobaccos that gives Camels more flavor and helps them hold up pack after pack.
Well, they ought to appreciate that.
They did. They told me to walk a mile for Niles and some Camels. So I started to dash out shouting that Camel cigarettes stay fresh, cool smoking, slow burning, because they're packed to go around the world. And then it happened.
What happened?
In a final burst of enthusiasm, I cheered to the expectant fathers, Camel is the cigarette for me! It wins! It wins! It wins my vote! They thought I said twins, and then all of them passed out.
It's a twin, interesting life, isn't it? Ken, do me a favor, will you? Bring in that wheelchair out in the hall and help me into it.
Okay, Mr. Dithers, always glad to help a fellow Camel fan.
Master Pipe Smoker, if you want more tobacco for your money, up to a dozen extra pipefuls for every dime's worth, get George Washington's smoking tobacco in the big blue 2 1/4 ounce package. George Washington's grand tasting, mild and even burning too, right down through the last puff at the bottom of the bowl. If you want up to a dozen extra pipefuls in every 10-cent package, get the great big package of George Washington, America's biggest value in smoking pleasure. I want to thank you for joining us tonight and every night here on the BBTBC. And as always, and with much love, that's a good night from me and from me.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
What's your tea? Oh, it's great. It's honey. It's honey. Oh, no, it's great for the throat.
I guess that's it.